What's up, brother Charlene? Fantastic. At the crib today, just chilling. Just a little bit late. I thought I'd make me a little video because I had a few things on my mind today, and I thought I'd talk to the brothers out there, whoever would listen, and I don't know how many it is. I have a very small channel. I'm under no illusions about that. I have a very small channel. I have people that respond to they like my views. Some of them don't. We debate. That's fine. It's all in the conversation. But I want to speak to black men about my experience in this country. My experience pretty much was I grew up in the Deep South. I was born in Chicago, Illinois, but I grew up in the Deep South for most of my childhood. I moved to Chicago. I moved from Chicago when I was 5 years old, and went to high school there. I went to a white high school, by the way. It was a white, predominantly white. I say, at the time when I was going there, maybe 30% black people, maybe that, but mostly predominantly white. And it was a good school. I didn't have a bad experience at the school. I mean, did racism happen there? Of course it did. I ain't no racism denier. Yeah, of course it did. I mean, like when I went to school, high school, it was in the 90s, and you gotta realize the parents of some of the people that I went to school with grew up in Jim Crow. So think about it like this: my parents grew up taking the brunt of Jim Crow. So what do you think those white people were in Jim Crow? And the funny thing about, living in a place like Mississippi, in the town I'm from, all the white people know you. They know exactly who you are. I mean, if you, white people and black people know each other. You know what I'm saying? It's not a thing to where they're not familiar with you. They know your family. They know your mother, your grandmother. They know everybody. They know everything about you. You know everything about them. It's one of those things, man, where it's I ain't gonna say love hate. I'm just put it like this: black people knew their enemy. I'm put it like that. Let me just say it like that. So I had I'm not saying every white person was my enemy. I'm not saying that. I got some cool white friends that I grew up with. They were cool. They were okay. That I'm friends with to this day. Don't get me wrong, but it is what it is. I mean, it's Mississippi. Come on, do I have to explain this? I think we're smart enough to understand, Mississippi. I think we're smart enough to understand what went on there, and like it's like the last state to get rid of slavery laws and anti-miscegenation laws on the books, like in the early 2000s. So come on now, let's not play with that. Let's not even play with that. But the point of this video that I want to get into was this about black men, and if you're a black man in this country, I'm of the opinion that if you're a black man in this country, you're on your own. Now, that's not to say that there haven't been black men that gave you a leg up. And I had a father, and I'm eternally grateful for having my father. My father was a great man. He was still a great man. He's still alive. My mother and father are both still alive. Been married for 48 years, and they're still married right now to this day. And that's how I grew up. I have two siblings. An older sister and a younger brother, and they all turned out well. As a matter of fact, we all have degrees. We all went to college. We all graduated from college and got our degrees. That was my mother's wish, and she got that. My brother and sister, they both had their masters. Now, I didn't quite do that. If I wanted to go back, it would probably take me about 15, 16 hours of credits, and I have my master's, my MBA. But that's beside the point. We're not going to go into that. Anyway, Um, if you're a black man in this country and you grew up middle class or lower middle class or poor, um, even if you grew up upper middle class, you're on your own. You are on your own. Besides the support of your family, let's say if you don't have, I was lucky enough to have the support of my family. My mother and my father, very supportive. As long as I was doing the right thing. Whenever I did something wrong, they let me know. And I learned the hard way. And one good thing about having a father, there's plenty of good advantages. But the good part about having a father is your father is going to pull you to the side and he's going to tell you about the L's and the ills of life. He's going to kick it to you real. Doesn't mean that you're going to follow it. He knows that you're going to stumble and do something stupid. But it's there in your mind to where you can reference that when something crazy happens, when you have to face certain consequences, you can say, you know what, my father told me that, and you know what, I best not do that again. But for the most part, when you're out in the world, you're on your own, and this is one of the things my father taught me. Aside from us, your mom and me, your family, we all you got. Other than that, you're on your own. And you are on your own in this country if you're black. If you're a black male. Ain't nobody coming to help you. Ain't nobody coming to save you. All that's out there for you is punishment if you make the wrong decision. If you make a bad, fucked up, silly ass decision, ain't nothing out there for you except for pain. So what you got to do is make the right decisions. What I did, I graduated from high school. I went to college. I fucked up in college my first time. I went to the military, came back, and finished college. And got a decent job, and I hadn't looked back since. And the military was now the military's not for everybody, but the military taught me a lot. The military, along with my strong upbringing, I was an RTC in high school, so I automatically, when I got out of boot camp, I was upgraded to E3. So, it was like those things shaped who I am today, and I'm still learning. You continuously learning things in life. That's just how it goes. But in America, you got to face the fact that you're on your own. You have to do that. White folks ain't gonna help you. Ain't no other racial group gonna help you. Other black people, there's other black people out there. You have to get with like-minded black people that will probably give you a leg up. But for the most part, I run into jealous-minded black folks that wanted to crab in a bucket your ass. I even had a bunch of people telling me that when you move to Texas, you'll be back, and saying shit like that. I never went back, by the way. I've been gone for 15 years. I'm a homeowner. I have a very good job. I do pretty decent in life. That's what for most black people. Not all. It's not all. But from the people that did try to get me a leg up, they told me the same thing. You're on your own. You are on your own. I won't try to help you out, but there's no programs for you. There's nothing. There's nothing out there that's gonna get you in line. I mean, you're gonna have to make good decisions. And I understand about misguided brothers, black men, that get out of line. But my best advice to you is try not to make fucked up decisions. Don't break the law. Get a job or start a business. Find out something that you like. Start a business. Get a hobby. Figure out what you like. Figure out what you want to do with yourself. Anything but breaking the law and selling drugs. I'll give you an example of what I mean by you on your own. Okay. When the crack epidemic was going on, I was a kid. I was like, you know, in the late 80s, you know, early 90s, late in the 80s when it was really hitting. I know people, I know people personally. I know families, like personally, they lost fathers to crack and mothers to crack in the street. They lost their whole family, lost their jobs, lost their houses, things. I'm talking about people, black men that were like accountants and shit like that, you know, to crack. So back then it was an epidemic, and I remember when Ronald Reagan was the president, and he had that war on crime, and you know, and all that. He declared war on drugs. But now that we had this opioid epidemic, they're more empathetic because it's white people that are involved. So they have help. They have psychiatric evaluations, and they got all this stuff. They didn't have any of that shit for black folks. You know, when it's black folks, they just say, hey, fuck it, lock them up. And so you had this big epidemic of black people being locked up, you know, and Kamala Harris, whoever she is, I'm going to get on her ass in my next video. You know who she is, from California, running for president. She's another one, locking black men up over non-violent shit, you know. I'm going to get her ass in the next video. Don't worry. I'm going to get dead and deep in her ass. But my point is this. You got to keep your nose clean. You have to. If you're a brother, you got to. You got to keep your nose clean. I know it's hard sometimes. I know the big booty chicks want the guy that's doing all this, taking all these risks to get with them. It's not worth it. It is not worth it. I could tell you how the story ends. Believe me, I could tell you exactly how the story ends. You keep your nose clean. Stay away from that. You know, stay focused on getting better with your life and doing things. You'll be okay. Just don't do stupid shit. And you can make it in this country. And if you know that ain't nobody coming to help you, there ain't no good savior coming to help you. Not for black men. That's not going to happen for you. You're going to have to do that yourself. That's just the way it is. I got to bring you the news like that. I gotta break it down to you like that. You know, you're on your own. It's sobering news, but the quicker that you accept that, the better off your life will be. The better off your life will be. You can plan and strategize around the fact that ain't nobody coming to help you. Nobody's going to feel sorry for you. Nobody. Believe me, nobody's going to feel sorry for. I mean, think about it. Who feels sorry for a homeless black man? Nobody. Not even other black people. You know, ain't nobody going to sympathize with you. So you have to dust off your ass, dust off your boots, get busy, living or die trying. It's a tough pill to swallow, but it'll make you a better man at the end of the day. All right, guys. Charlene Fantastic out. I'll holler at y'all later.